I'm Ken Lehnig. I'm the author of Truthful Tall Tales, and I wanted to do a video about the book because it's unique in a lot of ways. I've had a very full creative life. I have a podcast now on creativity, which is the header of this show, but I want to do just a report on this book that I wrote. It's an ebook. It's available everywhere. Um, Google, Smashwords, Barnes and Noble. If you see the title of the book and the book itself, you probably don't really have an idea about what it is, or you think it might be one of those, here's my experience on a flying saucer, or, one of those kinds of books. But that's not what this book is. I've had some very high, strange experiences, and I've had them all my life. I never reported anything to anybody. It wasn't necessary as far as I was concerned. They were just events that happened, and I tried to integrate them into my life as best I could. This book came about because I would tell stories to my children about all the things I've experienced: ghosts, UFOs, strange people, strange things, strange events. But I would tell them as cautionary tales or morality. Well, my oldest daughter got a hold of me just recently, and you can tell by the thing I'm not a very young man. I'm actually an aged man, matter of fact, but still very creative and very active. She got a hold of me, and I've written other books that you'll find when you go look, but this book was special. She asked me a point-blank question. She asked me if the stories I had told to her and the other kids were true. Had I made them up? Startling question. I never expected anybody to believe me, because why would you? These are kinds of things that are impossible, ridiculous. I told her the truth. They are true. These things did happen. So she said, well, then you have to write a book about them. Not only for my children, but for prosperity. Now, that was daunting. Terrified me. I'd rather write fiction and crazy stories and crazy mysteries and, that kind of thing as a writer. I'm also a songwriter, performer. I still perform and put out records. So I'm still very creative, but I always sort of took the events that happened to me as a sign. The meaning of it was not the event. The meaning of it was perhaps to be open, to be available, to realize that life and reality is not necessarily what we think it is. It's a perfect place for a writer to be, right? But writing the book was terrorizing. I got ill several times, upset, stomach, headaches, and I ended up having to destroy everything I wrote. I couldn't do it. Now, I'm not going to suggest for a minute that something was keeping an eye on me or a tab on me and made me sick. I don't believe that's true at all. I think it was just psychological because I had stashed them away, those memories, in a different part of my brain. And having to get in there again and look at these events and write them down, because the stories were very much stories. If I were to write these events as they happened, then the context matters. What happened before? What happened during the event? What happened after the event? What effect did it have on me for the longer period? And that made writing the book rather difficult. Now, as humans do, I kind of want to pontificate. I want to try to explain each and every event as best I can. I didn't do that. This book is just as clearly as I could write just the event and let the reader think what they will. Now, the dialogue, well, I obviously don't remember. It's been 73 years. I've been around this planet a long time. I don't remember the exact words of all the conversations, but I remember tenure. Is that the right word? I knew the basics of the conversations, and I wrote the dialogue with that in mind. So that may be exaggerated a little bit, or I would use certainly different words, although I even tried to write the early parts of my life as a child would write, and then later on, a little bit more sophisticated, perhaps. So the point is, I wrote the book, finished it, and I published it. Now, I sent it around to many publishers, and one was interested in it, but I decided that I want the book available to as many people as possible. So I put it as an ebook at $2.99 on Smash. More on other sites, depending on where you get it. You get it from a retailer. I wanted to get it out there and have it available to everybody because I know. In my younger years, I spent a lot of time on a bar stool after work, and people would tell me extraordinary stories. Alien abduction, fairies, leprechauns, huge spaceships rising out of the ocean. I probably heard every fantastic thing that can possibly happen. Someone somewhere has told me a story. So the other part of writing this book is I would like for people to read it and realize there's something not special, not better, but there's something about a human being that experiences high strangeness. I had a couple I talked to once, and they were in Sedona, and they climbed up on one of the big red ridges, and the trail abruptly stopped against the side of the mountain. It was a fantastic view, and they sat and they had their lunch. Then in front of them appeared a young man, with up-to-date clothing, backpack, the right hat, LL Bean, exactly. I mean, it was picture perfect hiker in Sedona. He looked at them, said hi, and walked down the path. The problem was, there was nobody up there. There was nobody ahead of him. There's no possible way he could be where he was. He just appeared. Now, at this particular occasion, I listened to the story, and I always wonder why people want to tell me these stories. I think that's part of being that kind of human being. I didn't judge him. I said, well, must have been a portal. How do we know? We don't know. So anyway, the book is all a series of stories from the time I was born until currently, of all the strange events that happened, written as succinctly and clearly as I can as a writer. And my hope is that you'll read this thing and realize that perhaps you're not as crazy as you thought you were. All the things you may have experienced that you just blocked out because your family or your friends said you're crazy. You must have been on acid, or you must have been drinking. No, I know better. And what I'd like to do, my next project, it may take a while, but here's my request. Certainly, please buy the book, the ebook, and read it. And then contact me. And what I'd like to do is to write the next book about other people's strange events, strange events that happen to you. I won't use your name, but I will record them in a book so that you don't feel like you're crazy anymore. Can't even imagine how much money you've spent in therapy. I've spent a lot. I don't know that I'm a fully realized person yet, but maybe I have a few more years to get that done. So anyway, I wanted to just do this video for you. Um, the book is Truthful Tall Tales. Please buy it, read it, contact me, let me know about your high strangeness, your events that were upsetting, destructive. Because I know a lot of people have been deeply damaged by the things that they've seen or experienced. Family members leave them, friends leave them, and they're left abandoned in this conversation in their head about what the hell did I just see? Well, you've got a friend, and I want to be able to have a conversation with you about that event that happened to you that will maybe give you some understanding of who we are as people who have that sense of perception, alternate view that shows up always in the most inopportune time. So thank you. Please buy the book.